Hello, this is Debbie from Debbies Crafty Hands. Today we're going to have some more napkin play, but with a slight difference. I'm going to be, I think the correct terminology is decoupaging onto this bottle. Also onto this lovely jam jar. They can be used. I wouldn't recommend using wet flowers, but certainly for dry flower displays, for the simple reason you don't want to get it damp once you finish, because you don't want all your hard work falling off the side of the bottle. So as the previous episode, we need to take the layers off of our napkin. Now, I did prepare a little bit of sellotape in advance, so I wasn't faffing around with it. Put it in your corner. You can start in the middle if you like, but see, and looks like I've got both layers up at once this time, so that's good. Now, the middle layer, I don't know if you can see. Let's take this one away so it doesn't reflect on. Sometimes it picks up the image of your coloured paper, so you could use that as maybe a shadow image. That's not too bright, I think. Yeah,
kind of see it.
Kind of see it. Basically, it's just a very faint shadow of the original picture, which can be used if you want to do some light shading. But it'd be quite nice when we make our paper, because it'll give you a little bit of texture and colour to the paper. Put that to one side to be used later. What did I do with my tissue? Napkin. Now, in order to do the bottle, it's a very strange shape. Well, strange shape, awkward shape, should I say, because you have a wider bit at the bottom going into a narrow neck. You could just go up to the neck of the bottle if that's what you'd like to do, or you can go right up. But if you go right up, be aware that you might have some pleating which may well thicken up your image. May not be quite as opaque as you would like it. Now, I'm going to only use one side of this napkin, so I'm going to just cut across the centre. You could use your water pen, but I want a straight line so that's easier to work with. You can also do individual images on the same way, or add images on the top. Now, for my bottle, I need to know how long in order to wrap around the bottle. So we will start at one edge and bring it up round and keep rolling. So we have our rough line about where these little purple flowers are. I'm going to endeavour to cut a straightish line. There was ever such a slight overlap, so let's see how successful. I've always got the other side of the tissue if I have got this completely off kilter, but no. We're wrapped around nicely without too much overlap, because, as I say, once you double it up, you lose the opaqueness and you can see the seam a little bit more. So now we've got that worked out, we need to get the height worked out. So it's too tall for the bottle. You can either trim off the bottom or take off the top. I'm going to take off the top, but I'm going to take off the top in a jiggity-jaggedy way with my water pen, because I want to save these butterflies for future use, and I want my edges to be, sorry, just struggling with my water pen, I've opened the wrong end. I don't want it flooding everywhere. Why won't you come undone? Ah, got it. Sorry about that. Nice fine line, very delicate, just barely touch the image, and I'm going weaving round. You can see a darkened line where the water is. I'm just weaving around the top of those flowers, dipping in and out, which give me a nice sort of scalloped top. Not quite sure why the water pen was misbehaving. Maybe I pushed it in too hard when I put it away, and we're taking from the edge, trying not to lose the butterfly wings on the way around. Up and down, down and up, and then along we go. And we're getting there, nearly to the end. Yeah, we're going to save them for later. Now let's measure our height again. Much better. Now, in order to do your pleating a little bit, I'm just going to snip in every so often. So I can fold it over itself, not very far down, just a little bit, just so that you get a little bit of flexibility for it to wrap around the narrow opening. Okay, now comes the fun bit. Put that to one side for a second. Now the bottle has been washed with soapy water to take any grease off of it, and sterilised with nice boiling hot water so that whatever was inside it previously is not going to linger. I'm going to be using my Mod Podge on this occasion. I don't know if stick glue will stick to glass, but I do know Mod Podge will. So, and to be honest, Mod Podges are going to be a lot easier to paint on than the stick glue. So now, I thought I'd lost my brush for a minute. Oh, brush, it's a sponge dauber. Looks like a bit like a lolly stick, and they're usually found in the kiddies aisle for children's painting, but they're really handy because you can stroke down in wide lengths so that it will dipping in. Don't want too much on my sponge at the same time. I'm going to come right up underneath the top of the bottle and work my way down. I don't want to be doing too much at once, but I want it nice, even, finish coating, not too many lumps and bumps, otherwise they'll be seen through your decoupage. Now I've done probably just over a third of the way around. Just going to rest my brush on my Mod Podge. Now this is the tricky bit, because you want to get it straight without the wrinkles. So starting and getting your bottom leveled up and along the edge, just very gently tap it in place and twist the bottle, and then the overlap, we can come back and go over the top of that. I'll try and give you a side view. So we're just gently smoothing it on, not putting any pressure at all, just making sure it's in contact. You will get a little wrinkles. Just pulling it out a little bit so I can get the bottom level a little more, and gently pulling up from the side, just trying to ease those creases up. That's it. And then round the top. Your flowers will crinkle up a little bit round the top, but we can put a ribbon round that so it will disguise it a little bit. Bring that one over, brush down, try and keep your bottom level. You can always file it off once it's dry, but the more level it is, the more less work you have to do afterwards, sort of thing. Right, so I'm just going to peel it back slightly so we can see where our line of glue was finished, and get another little double. This Mod Podge lasts for ages actually. It's a little bit pricey to buy, but it does last. I think this 16-ounce jar was £8 or £9, and I've had it quite a while. I haven't used it that regularly, but I have not used it regularly either. It's a staple on my desk, shall we say. Be used as and when. So I'll just do another little section, and then you can pop your finger in the middle of the bottle through the hole, and then that helps you steady it. Oh, now I've torn that, but I can push it back together. It's very easy to tear when it's wet, so just be very delicate fingers. Work my way around. Slide that one up, fold that one over. We do the glue again. It takes about 20 minutes to dry. While I'm finishing off this bit, I'm going to do a shout out to a couple of people that have been with me from the beginning of my journey, and that's Moss and Paul. Hello to you both, and thank you so much for all your support. Really appreciate it. Working my way around, slow and steady. You have to be very gentle with it. You can't go in like a bull in a china shop, because it's holding it steady with the opening at the top, bringing it round because we're on the home straight here. If you do have some holes, and you can always just get a bit of tissue and patch it over the top. if it bothers you. I quite like the organic look of it. There's a few little wrinkles, but nothing overly to worry about, because you will, when you're doing an odd shape, you will have wrinkles because that's the nature of it. Right now I'm just going to go over the top of where I started so that the overlap will seal. Okay. Again, very gentle touch, just so it's just pressed into place. And it's probably not a project for someone who wants everything smooth and perfect, because you will get texture, you will get little wrinkles and creases and such like. You can smooth some of them out, but I think it gives it character and body. With my trusty little damp cloth. Yeah, gluey fingers, so now there's a little bit of glue around the top where I've got a bit of excess there. That will dry clear. I've got a little bit here where it's not folded down. I'm just going to tuck my sponge under there and brush it down to seal it round. Now I shall just gently brush over the top of it, starting from the beginning where it's a little bit drier, and just give it a second coat over the top, and that seals it in quite nicely. And anything sticking up, you can just sort of pat it down gently with your brush. Maybe later on in the series or in the episodes, I can show you how to make some paper flowers to put in your lovely vase. Or you can just sit on the side with some dried flowers. I actually did some of these for some family members and put some knitted flowers in them. They're quite sweet, and they're quite robust because the glass, they're quite heavy, so they're not easy. Like if it was plastic, it would be a lot easier to topple it. And you could use some cane and knit yourself some flowers, or get some flowers in the basket, grey basket. Yeah, I can use those as well, but the grey basket behind that, that's so I'm just, so you could use something like this. You can get ribbons of flowers joined together, multicolours, and just pop them on a stem. Where's my stem? Pretend stem. Stick them on the stem, stick them in, and they can, and then put them with the dry flowers and mix and match. But this isn't a flower arranging class, so let's move on. And also you can do layered flowers, such as my ones in my Etsy shop, and do them back to back, either the same colour facing away from each other or different contrasting colours. So you look at them from different angles.
Yourself and you want to use some of these flowers, you can
go to Debbies Crafty Hands on Etsy. Right, we're going to let that dry a little bit and come back to that in a moment when it's a little bit drier and we can finish the top off. But our next project today hopefully we've got time for it, is the glass jar. Now the glass jar is not going to take so long, although it's a funny shape. It has the flat sides. I'm only going to go up to here with it, and I'm going to use these butterflies. I'm going to use these butterflies individually, so I'm going to stick them. I could actually go over the top in that case. So it's not going to be wrapped around, it's just going to be placed in various positions around the jar. So I need to get complete butterflies. I'm going to turn my glue page over because I don't want the butterfly on this napkin to stick to it. Now I'm not going to use my water pen this time, mainly because it's letting out a lot of water and these butterflies are really delicate. So I'm going to trim round a couple at a time and then fussy tear around the edges. You can use part butterflies, but that's better for backgrounds as rather than in the foreground. Okay, so that's a couple. Got here, we've got a few up here that are holy. Right, let's get my glue out the way so I don't get stuck to it. Put my foam pad on the lid. I'm up the side here. Cheers. Now how many? I've finished cutting this row and then we'll see how many we've got and we can maybe work out how many we're going to need. I don't want to cut any out that I don't need. In that edge we have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think that would be big enough. We can always cut a couple more out if we need them afterwards. So I don't want to put the Mod Podge directly onto the serviette. So like we did with the envelopes, I'm just going to jagged the edges here so that it's a bit disappear into the... be careful, put your thumb where you don't want to tear so that the butterflies don't lose their wings. I'm liking the choice of music, it's very floaty to match with the butterflies. Very well done. Not sure if it's happenstance or on purpose, but whatever, it was very good. Okay, so we don't want them all, well, you might want them all like a band on one level, but for my purposes I'd like to have them sort of different angles, different heights on the jar. I'm going to start at the bottom and put a little bit on. Now this jar could possibly be used for candles, electric tea lights or whatever. I wouldn't probably use a flamed candle because I'm not quite sure how the Mod Podge would respond to a naked flame, or the heat, I should say, from a naked flame. But certainly electric tea lights would be fine. So that just has just dissolved into the glue. The white square is the glue as opposed to the serviette. That will dry clear. Finger tear these apart. Wipe my fingers. So where do we want the next one? Let's pop on here. Maybe go up 3 and then back down, sort of thing, little ziggy zaggy, but having them facing slightly different ways. So I'm going to have this one flying off into the other direction. Don't worry if you don't get all the edges to start with, you can always come back and go over them. Just get them in the position you want them. That bit. If you get any little lumps or dried bits, then pick them off because you don't want lumpy butterflies. Okay. Let's come up into that edge, under it. Let me tease it back down again. There we go. That edge didn't quite get long enough. So on the thumbnail you'll see it a little bit better with clear. And this one. Well, no, it'll just be clear because the glue will be dry. Right, we're halfway around the jar. You're getting the idea. I'm going to stand it up now because I don't want to roll it onto the damp bits and get them knocked off. So I'm standing it up, right? A little bit faster now, you've seen what I'm doing. The idea. And you don't have to do all the same pattern, you can alternate different insects, creatures, whatever you have on your napkin. And we've got 4 more to go on, okay. Mr. Tech Guy, would you pick out a couple of ribbons that will go with my jars, please? Save some time. Let's see how good he is at matching the colours, shall we? Some of them there's quite a lot of. Okay, I've got 2 more. One here and one up here. Okay, pick your fingers again. Remember, you're using very delicate medium, so you want to try and keep your fingers as unsticky as possible. I know it's tricky, but a little bit too much glue there. Just tilting it so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Those edges in, and one last one on here, and I'll just go over the top of them and I can show you. Very simple finish to them. I'm literally just going to put some ribbon around the top, but you can use jute twine, you can use white bit of fabric, you can leave it plain, whatever matches into your decor. You could even put a row of the flowers around the top. That would look quite pretty. Right, just going to go back over these butterflies quickly just to seal them on. It takes a while to dry, so you won't get the full effect at the moment. That hair out, wherever you go there's a cat hair. Come on, off you come. Got him. Okay. Oh, I found another butterfly. I thought I'd done them all. Where's a gap? Do I need it? I probably don't need it actually. Do I need it?
Another one?
Yeah? Down here? Okay. There we go. Don't want to leave you behind, do we? There you go. Safely say that no butterfly was left behind. Well, none that I cut out anyway. So having the gaps in the glass between the butterflies, that one, done that one, done that one, will allow the light to come through, and it should shine through the opaqueness of the butterflies and give you a nice pretty coloration. Over that one, and over that one. I think I've done them all. Don't want to make them too wet because they'll take ages to dry. Okay, yep, I think I've gone over them. So let's see what my selection is, shall we? Now this foam brush needs to be put straight in water in a jar, because it has plastics in it. Best not to put it down the sink. If you have cats, put it in some cat litter, Otherwise,
The cat.
put it in a tissue paper and pop it in the bin. You know, sort of soak up the water. I'm going to put the sponge at the moment in my damp cloth to keep it damp so it doesn't dry on my sponge. Now we have, just trying to see if I can change the length of it. So I've got a ribbon with a bow here, which is lovely. So I'm presuming you chose that for this one.
Right. Say that?
You didn't. I didn't clarify. Now for the moment I will just put it on with a bit of rolled up sellotape so you can get the effect, but it will need to be glued on or tied on. But because the glue is still wet at the moment, I don't want to leave it on until it's dried properly. I'll just give you the effect. Okay, brown. Stick the bow on the sellotape. Oh, no, stick the bow on the sellotape. Not let the bow fall down. Better. So now we have a pretty vase. As I said before, best not to use it in water. If it needs wiping, then a duster rather than a damp cloth, because you may well reconstitute the glue and it might come away. There's our finish on there. It's just got to dry a little bit more. And we have a winner chicken dinner for the jam jar. So we're going for a nice bright yellow. Well, that could be another project. I mean, obviously you'll take your time over your bows and things. Get it all nice and fancy. Just for effect. Come on through, don't be shy. No, it doesn't want to do a bow, but you can have a ribbon. I'm being very cautious with that because it's still very, very wet. But you get the idea. So I shall leave you with that. And much love and bye for now. Take care, everyone.